Yeah, I have it. I have the agenda.
Yeah, I think we're
I swear I cannot hear out of this right here.
Oh, you're
Since
talking
it's
about
starting,
this one?
I
Yeah, that
cannot
one's
hear.
our dubious way of calculating, so I would not look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
72,242, so that number's higher, this number's lower.
Okay, give it one.
Is that from the increase in salary? So that's what
Yeah, I'm good with you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Our mayor is on the way, and as Mayor Pro Temp, I'm going to get this meeting started on time. And so this is the time and place for a public hearing. Okay,
First, we'll.
do I gavel? Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, first we'll need to take roll and then
Okay.
do approval of the agenda. So,
Okay,
so we can do the sign in.
all right. So would everyone please sign in?
Oh, Renee needs to sign in too. Oh, she is.
When do I
Okay.
hit the
Okay.
gavel? I want to
Okay,
make sure I do that.
we have 4 members present
Okay, okay.
and there are no changes to the agenda.
Okay,
So,
when do I hit the gavel? I want to do it one time.
oh, good. Whenever you want, you're in
All right, we
charge.
all, I'm going to do it like this.
Russ will take care of it.
Okay. You'll understand that tap in about 25 minutes. Okay, this is the time and place for a public hearing to
First, we'll
consider.
need a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
okay, all those in favor, please vote. I don't get to vote, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem still votes.
All right,
4 yes. And now it's time for the public hearing.
okay. All right. Okay, this is the time and place for a public hearing to consider fiscal year 2025, 2026 proposed property tax rate initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Clerk, would you please read the date and the notice was published?
March 14th, 2025 in the Des Moines Register.
Have we received any written comments on this, to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll ask for verbal comments from the audience. Please come to the microphone stating your name and giving your address for the record before speaking.
Hi, I'm Miranda Kurt, 316 38th Street, and as a West Des Moines resident, I am not in favor of decreasing our taxes. I would like them to stay where they are so that we can continue to get the same amenities and services that we are accustomed to. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, Miranda.
Thank you very much. First time hearing that kind of response, but thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Hi, Srijan Kareem, 1225 28th Street, West Des Moines. I am here, I guess, not just to talk about, it is to talk about the rate. I mean, sure, if you want to reduce the rate, that's fine, but I think I'll give you an example, live in West Des Moines, and there are moments where I'm proud to be a West Des Moines resident. During the last snowfall when we had, I live in West Des Moines, but I commute to Urbandale for work. And I can tell you that the West Des Moines, not the sidewalks, like the trails and the roads were much quicker to get, cleared of snow and other services that you guys provide. I think West Des Moines is it's much better than when I just entered Urbandale, even through Clive, I was like, oh my God, this is, where I live is so much better. So, and that's where I kind of want to say that, yeah, I mean, tax rate, sure, if it comes down, but that means we will lose something. It's kind of like a law of equivalent exchange to, lose some. I mean, you'll have to lose something else. And that's what kind of bothers me. And I see that, hey, the total tax goes up. I'm assuming that's mostly because of the valuation of the property will go up despite the rate going down. But I feel like that the city, sure, can decrease taxes, but as somebody already mentioned, would like to, keep the level of amenities that we're used to at the current level. And I think the city does not look into enough of increasing chances to increase revenue without spending more capital. Using existing infrastructure to build more commercial, areas, decreasing maybe the parking minimums that we have, that should allow more developments to show up. Again, I just find it weird that, the city is in the business of subsidizing, parking cars, but, nothing is free. Those come at a cost too. But that's a different topic. But I just wanted to say that infill development is not as looked into in this city. I mean, sure, the expansion is fantastic. West of West Des Moines, there are many areas that are expanding, but those come at a cost, which are going to be expensive to take care of. So I would agree with the previous person that I would prefer to keep the tax rate as is, but I will support in decreasing the tax rate if the total amount that is being taxed, there are more sources of revenue for that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your thoughtful comments.
Who knew this would be a day of people being like, please stop cutting my taxes? Usually it's just me. I'm Jay Hoag, 413 2nd Street. I was like, yeah, hey, wow, can't believe
Jay?
it's time for my yearly please stop cutting taxes diatribe already. The 25-26 proposed budget, about 2/3 of the departments list some form of being under-resourced as a challenge. So I have a lot to work with in this presentation. So I figured I'd look at each department, list performance measures by which we can judge how well they're doing. So I'm going to look at that today, specifically the performance measures that I assume council sets for itself, which are how much we're cutting taxes and the bond rate. Frankly, those are terrible performance measures. So a good performance measure, I would say, it's got to be measurable. Those are measurable. It's got to be actionable. Sure, tax rate is actionable, but you could, we could. So I got distracted by Russ walking in. We could disincorporate as a city and bring the city tax rate down to 0, but then people would get upset because no one's answering the 911 calls, right? So it also has to be relevant to the goals. So Russ likes to talk about make it something along the lines of making West Des Moines the best city to live, work, play, and raise a family. Right now, that as a goal is a little squishy and hard to define, but one aspect of that I think we can all agree on has to be affordable. And affordability does suggest a number of potential measures. So I'm going to look at housing affordability for 2 reasons. One, it was easy to find numbers for. And second, it does tie back to the whole property tax thing. So for all the pain we go into for like a 5-cent tax cut, it doesn't really buy much, right? It saves the median household almost, but not quite enough to buy a pack of instant ramen every month. Wow, so much savings. Right, there's a lot more potential for savings on the cost side than there is on the tax side. And there's a lot of people who could use that. So about 1/4 of West Des Moines households are housing burdened, and that number is trending up, kind of going the wrong way there. And as you might imagine, it depends a lot on where people are on their income ranges. So people making less than $35,000 a year, roughly 90% of them are housing burdened. People making between 35 and 50K, about half. Now, you can also divide that out by owners. Owners fare a little better on average. Renters fare a little worse. So really, most of the pain of housing burden is felt by renters. And for anybody making less than $50K a year in renting, rent sucks. Now, obviously, percentages are not the whole story because, right, so 1 out of 1 is 100%, but you're probably not going to worry about one person specifically. Unfortunately, we're talking thousands of households that are housing burdened, again, mostly people making less than $50K a year. Owners, surprisingly enough, it's about even regardless of income level. So most of the spread, most of the pain of being housing burdened falls onto renters. So most of the housing burden is felt by renters. Well, this may come as a shock, but renters don't pay property taxes. So lowering taxes doesn't help. You have to find ways to lower housing costs. Fortunately, there is a simple 3-step program to lowering housing costs. Build more housing. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean giant apartment complexes everywhere, right? It can be as simple as ADUs or allowing duplexes in single-family zones. And as city leaders, you guys have a ton of levers that you can pull to allow more housing to be built.
Minute left.
Yep. And to lower the cost of housing that does get built, right? I don't need to go over all of this. You have great staff who know all of these things. But fundamentally, right, what more housing requires? It requires sufficient staff to review things, do inspections. It requires staff to review legal documents, to create and administer the programs that help get things built. And staff requires money, which you pay for with taxes. So the solution to making West Des Moines more affordable isn't tax cuts, it's lowering housing costs. Tax cuts, counterintuitively, get in the way of that by making it harder to do the things you need to do to actually lower housing costs. Thank you.
All right, thank you, MJ.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, anybody else that would like to comment out there? Is there anybody else in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 3A? Okay, hearing none, I will declare the public hearing closed.
Hello, I'm on the phone. I would like to speak, please.
Okay, Amy, you missed it. I just closed the public comment, but
Well,
I guess we
your
will.
guy didn't let me on.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm probably going to regret
You
this,
know
but I
how
will
there's
let you
always
go
those little
ahead.
glitches.
Amy, I'll let you go ahead. You got 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep.
Okay, my first name is Amy, A-M-Y. Last name Buer, B-U-E-H-R-E-R. You can find my story on Facebook, so I'll keep it short. I have one question. I would like to direct it to Attorney Greta Truman. Is she there today?
She is here.
Hi, Greta. How you doing?
I'm good, Amy. How are you?
I think you know how I am. Greta, Attorney Greta Truman, City Attorney Greta Truman, did you get something from the Iowa Supreme Court Attorney Disciplinary Board yet for your part in RICO, which means racketeer influenced organized crime? It's a simple yes or no.
No, I have not.
Amy, I've got to
Okay,
redirect.
thank
Amy,
you.
I've got to redirect you. This is a public hearing to talk about
I'm already done
the
with her.
property
She
tax
already-
rate. So
she already
you've got to
answered my-
keep, all
Well,
right, you've got,
Property tax rates,
You've got to
I would
keep it on the
just like
property
to
tax
say
rate, Amy.
That nobody deserves a raise that works for the city of West Des Moines. As a matter of fact, many of you Can you still hear me? My phone is acting up.
Nope, we can still hear you. I will just ask you one more time to keep your comments germane
Okay.
to the topic that's at hand, which is the proposed property tax rate initiated by the city.
Reminder, any member of government who violates the U.S. Constitution is supposed to be removed from government, not warned, not voted out, arrested, and removed. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, Amy. Okay, anybody else in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 3A? If you're online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and give us your name and address for the record. Is there anybody else online or in the chamber? Okay, I will declare the public hearing closed, and no action will be taken at this time. I guess, do we just have a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
We don't need a motion.
Don't need a
We'll just
motion?
receive and file the special meeting notice, and then we can adjourn.
Okay, we will receive and file a special meeting notice, and with that, we will adjourn the special meeting until 5:30 when the regular meeting will start. We're adjourned.
Who's my councilman? I live out by the Jordan Creek Mall.
Yours would be, are you north of Mill Civic or south of Mill Civic?
North.
North of Mill Civic. Yours would be Greg Hudson, and he's the one who's not here tonight.
Oh, okay.
But
Can I ask you? So that we just talked about this one here. Okay, this is the city of West. But what? So this is the school district? I'm in
Yes.
the Waukee School District.
Yep.
I'm gonna call the March 24th meeting of the West Des Moines City Council to order and invite you all to stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, now that everyone's awake, please sign in.
Five members present.
Ryan, have there been any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Your Honor.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as distributed? It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 2, Citizens Forum. This is the time for anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on any item that is not either part of public hearings or new business. So if you're not part of item 6 or part of item 7, and you'd like to address the council, please come to the podium here, give us your name and address for the record. We ask that you keep it to 5 minutes or less, and that you keep it civil and respectful. Is there anybody that would like to address the council, either in the chamber or online on Citizens Forum? If you are online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and give us your name and address for the record. Anybody?
Hello?
Okay, Amy, go ahead and give us your name and address for the record.
Hi, I know I spoke at 5 o'clock, but I wanted to be sure because I didn't know if you guys are being tricky dickies and gonna not let us speak at public forums. So I
No,
guess I'll
we're
just
always happy to have you. We're never tricky. Go ahead,
Name and
Amy.
address, though.
Yeah, give us your name and address, please. You got to do the formality.
Okay, you guys. My name is Amy, A-M-Y. Last name is Buehrer, B-U-E-H-R-E-R. Address 8415 Mill Civic Parkway, West Des Moines. And my story can be found online on my Facebook page. And earlier, I asked Attorney Greta Truman if she is there today. She replied yes. I asked Attorney Greta Truman if she got something from the Iowa Supreme Court Attorney Disciplinary Board yet for her part in RICO, which is Racketeer Influenced Organized Crime, and she replied no. Okay, so that's the end of that subject. But I've been curious about another subject for so long that, Miss Renee Hardman, this question is for you, please. Are you able to answer a question?
Yes, I will,
Ms.
depending on the
Hardman?
question.
Oh,
Yes?
thank you. Thank you. On your profile on the West Des Moines website, it says that you are an investigator. Are you a licensed investigator?
Amy, I'm not quite sure I even know what you're talking about, so I am not in it.
On the profile on the West Des Moines website, it says that you are an investigator. And I'm asking you if you are an investigator, because if you are, you would be in law enforcement.
Amy, what's your point?
My point is I want to know if she is in law enforcement.
Amy, I am not in law enforcement.
Okay, so then your profile claims that you are an investigator, and all right, that's all I needed to know about that. But I wondered Are you under investigation? And if you are, why are you sitting up there?
Amy, I'm sitting on this dais because I was elected by the electorate in West Des Moines. I am not under investigation, and that's all I'm going to say on this matter.
Thank you for your comment, Renee.
Okay, anything else, Amy?
Yeah, allow me a moment here, please.
Okay, no problem.
Earlier, something was spoken about. Are you still with me?
We are still with you, and you've
Okay,
got
thank
1
you.
minute and 53 seconds left, just to let you
Thank
know.
you.
Yep.
Just a reminder that our Public Works building that stores all our snow removal and everything in 2021, West Des Moines City Hall spent $33 million on a new building. So they cut back on our snow and stuff like the icing and because they already spent $33 million. Well, anyway, a reminder, any member of government who violates the U.S. Constitution is supposed to be removed from government, not warned, not voted out, arrested, and removed. Is the police chief there today?
The police chief is here, sitting in the back of the room.
And I take it he's not going to take any action. Is Mr. Haddon there today?
He is here.
Okay, they both have the police chief and Tom Haddon have FBI certifications. So therefore, any reports that get made to the FBI get rerouted back to them.
Okay.
When the city of West Des Moines City Hall should be investigated for RICO. That's racketeer influence, organized crime. Thank you. Have a great day, you guys.
You too. Thank you, Amy. Okay, anybody else for Citizens Forum, and either in the chamber or online? All right, seeing and hearing no one, Citizens Forum is closed. We're going to move on to item 3, Mayor, Council, Manager Report, Other Entities Update, and we're going to start with item 3A, Greater Dallas County Economic Development Alliance Community Update. Come on up.
I'm empty-handed and there's no presentation.
All right, we like that. You travel lightly.
Yeah, I try to.
All right,
I've learned
Rachel, give us
efficiency
your
from the
name and
government
address
city
for the
of West
record, please.
Rachel Wacker. I am the Executive Director for the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance and proudly a former employee of the City of West Des Moines in the Community and Economic Development Department. So here today, just to thank you guys for your continued support of our organization. Since I came on, it was about the same time that Ryan came on, leading the department here, and it's just been a really great experience having him on our board. The oversight that he and the leadership that he provides to our board has been very valuable, and we've been able to collaborate on a lot of things that not only are beneficial to the community, but because of your guys' growth, we are the fastest growing county in the state, 4th in the nation. And that our rural communities are starting to see a lot of benefit from that, or a lot of opportunity. So we just want to thank you for being kind of the catalyst for that, for other communities to experience some growth and in community improvements as well. And that's literally the only reason I'm here. I'd be welcome to answer any questions, but I certainly don't want to take up too much of your time either.
Any questions for Rachel? Thank you for
Thank
all
you.
that you do
Thanks
for
so much.
economic development for Dallas County. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for your leadership, Rachel.
Okay, moving on to item 3B, Greg Edwards, Greater Des Moines Convention and Visitors Bureau, otherwise known as Catch Des Moines.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I was a little disappointed with your golden voice. You did not lead us in the Star Spangled Banner today.
I was going to, McKinney told me not to.
Congratulations, first place winner this year.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager, beloved guests. Here to present to you our Catch Des Moines annual results to you. And we'll kick it off with a little video here. I guess I'm doing this, huh?
Our name is Catch Des Moines, and we sell serious fun. But dig a little deeper and you'll find something greater. As the Greater Des Moines Convention and Visitors Bureau, we bring visitors to the region through events and leisure travel marketing, and our impact knows no bounds. Ever wonder how Des Moines lands such events as NCAA March Madness and National Speech and Debate? That's thanks to our year-round efforts connecting national meeting planners and selling them on what we all know. Des Moines is the real deal. And all those videos, lists, and headlines that paint Des Moines as the cool place to be, yeah, that's us too. Whether it's through economic impact, job creation, or enhancing the reputation of the region, visitors and events leave a lasting impression.
Most major cities in the country have a CVB. And so if we want to compete for these big events, we have to have a CVB out there telling our story and telling everybody about all the great things that our region has to offer. I can tell you from experience that people select venues and destinations based on trusting who they're going to work with and having that credibility. Catch Des Moines does an amazing job of building that trust on behalf of Greater Des Moines. And that is key to the success of our region.
Catch Des Moines is such an important partner at the Iowa Event Center and what we do and the business we do. There's so many events, from sporting events to conventions and conferences. Catch Des Moines has a hand in just about everything. People focus on NCAA basketball and some of the bigger sporting events, but there's so many smaller regional and local meetings that take place in the event center. People are staying overnight in hotels, they're going to the bars and restaurants. It's a huge economic piece to the region.
Catch Des Moines brings in large groups throughout the year, that's great, but it's really the 100 to 500 person groups every week throughout the year that sustains air service. So it's not just all locals that are leaving the airport and coming back. We need people continually coming into Des Moines. When the visitors all come to town, that helps support all these businesses that create that vibrant social scene.
Catch Des Moines helps small businesses like mine by just getting the word out. With the help of their social media, their marketing programs, Catch Des Moines makes sure that everyone knows that we exist. And telling my story about why this bakery matters, not just to me, but also to the community. Catch Des Moines is our biggest cheerleader to make sure we don't remain a best-kept secret.
And while we like to shout about our local businesses, our sports scene has been making plenty of noise too.
In 2022, the youth sports industry was estimated at almost $40 billion. They expect that number to grow to almost $60 billion by 2030. Our region is growing tremendously and it's really turned into a sports mecca. It's because of Catch and their connections that we're able to attract these tournaments and bring tourism into West Des Moines and the surrounding communities.
And it's not just sports where we provide an assist. Catch sits at the head of the table when it comes to bringing in conventions and meetings too.
So about 10 years ago, the superintendent of Waukee Schools and I had a vision for bringing the largest academic competition in the world to Des Moines. And the first thing I did was call Catch Des Moines because I knew that our Visitors Bureau knew exactly what it would take to bring a high school event like ours to the city. Many visitor bureaus play the role of being the bridge between the city and the organization and the event. What Catch understands is that you have to be more than the bridge. You have to be the vehicle and the fuel to help that organization maximize its mission while they're in the city. There's a ton of economic benefit that happens when thousands of people over a long period of time come to the city. They also have an opportunity to see all kinds of parts of the city. Visiting the amusement park at Adventureland, going to watch Hamilton at the Civic Center, eating at incredible restaurants. Catch Des Moines understands that when you bring 7,000 future leaders to Des Moines, Iowa, that will have a reciprocal benefit in the future because those individuals will fall in love with this city. They will come back and be a part of this city and this culture, and someday they might call themselves Iowans.
If you build a place where people want to visit, you'll build a place where people want to live. If you build a place where people want to live, you'll build a place where people want to work. If you build a place where people want to work, you'll build a place where business needs to be. If you build a place where business has to be, you'll build a place where people have to visit. Our impact is greater.
Because in Des Moines,
Only the S's
Are silent.
Any questions?
Awesome.
No, yeah, we got a
Awesome.
couple more slides.
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy. And as
Oh,
a therapist,
I am thinking about going to
I am
therapy.
thinking
Hang
about
on.
it.
great idea.
I need to go to therapy. Okay, here we go. Get back.
those cookies, Greg.
Hello. I got it. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Phew. I think you're familiar with our mission, and we're going to be quick. We kind of revamped this, knowing that you might have some public input today. I want to welcome our team with us, my bodyguards, Trina Flack, Vice President of Sales, Brock Conrad, our Vice President of Marketing, Laura McNichols, our Director of Admin and Technology, and Shannon Winters, who is dying to speak, but we won't let her, our Vice President of Finance. So thank you all for being here with me. Just some quick charts and a little bit more data for you. This chart here just kind of outlines hotel motel tax through the years. The red line is what the CVB receives, 2/7. The blue line is just kind of a reminder of what the cities receive, receiving 3/7 of the hotel tax. Breakdown of our budget, I think we've shown you this in the past. It still remains where it should be. 15% of our budget's really spent on admin. The rest is spent where it should be spent. 36% in the marketing areas, primarily going after leisure travelers, that weekend business. 16% goes towards sports. 33% then goes towards conventions and our event experience division there. Year in review for West Des Moines specifically, these numbers changed dramatically from probably pre-Recplex anyway. 130 leads were sent directly to your West Des Moines properties. 70 of those events were actually held this past year, and 106 are scheduled to be held in the near future. So proud of those numbers as well. Some of the bigger stuff that have major impact, you heard from Scott Wan with National Speech and Debate. They're again back this summer. AAU Junior Olympic Games will be back next year. The All Iowa Attack is now doing a bunch of events in Waukee. Happy to say that most of those rooms are being circulated to your hotels in West Des Moines. USA Volleyball, big event here. Major League Quad Ball was also here. And then USA Hockey Central District Championships were held here as well. There's also, we left you a packet, I think we left you a packet, right? Okay. With some other data, other information on groups coming in. Yet this year, a whole calendar of things that are happening throughout the metro. On the marketing side, Brock and his team do a great job. You can see their advertising mix on the chart here, where we do all of our advertising. Really from broadcast TV to streaming TV, paid searches, social media, all that great stuff. Obviously continue to target heavily the Iowa market, along with Omaha, Kansas City. Minneapolis has now become a strong market for us. And even Milwaukee and Chicago, we reach into those markets as well, as we're seeing good results coming out of there. Another fun chart to make your mind go crazy. You can see the weekend transient business continues to really be strong. Our take on things is we're still not quite up to speed on business travel where we were pre-COVID. And really weekend transient travel has really kind of sustained us ever since the end of COVID. So we're hoping to see stronger results on the business side as we continue through this year. And on that, I'm happy to answer any questions or comments you may have.
Any questions for Greg? Greg?
Thanks, Greg. No, sure. I didn't really have any questions, but if anybody else had any questions, I just wanted to just share a hearty thank you to the entire team. It's incredibly important to our city that events come to our city. And I know that you have just worked incredibly hard and diligently to make sure that with our wonderful amenities we have, that people come and visit, not just from around the state, but around not just the region, but around the country. And I know the efforts that you put in. And I just wanted to quickly extol the virtues of a CVB in general, because everybody in the rest of the country, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, they are upping their game. They are increasing the amount of time, energy, money going to their CVBs because they know what our very own Ryan Penning said, sports, just sports alone is increasing so much, and we have such heavy competition around the Midwest and beyond to bring events here. And thus, it really exemplifies the need for a CVB, and Catch Des Moines fills that need. If there was no CVB, we would have no March Madness, because just the cities in the metropolitan area, we are looking at different budgetary things. There's a lot of challenges. Des Moines is cutting a lot of budget right now. There'd be no one to fill that gap if there was no CVB. And you could say goodbye to March Madness. You can say bye to all of these enormous events like National Speech, like Junior Olympics, Senior Games, all of these things which we compete with Chicago, Milwaukee, Madison, Topeka, or Wichita, I should say. Maybe Topeka's in there, I don't know. Without CVB, those other cities get those events. So I just want to say thank you to the team. And I wanted to say to Greg Edwards, your announcement for your retirement has kind of hit the airwaves, so to speak, I think a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to congratulate you, and I think you should be incredibly proud of the work that you've done over the last several years with CVB, and I just want to thank you for your many years of service of bringing more and more events to Des Moines. So a lot to be proud of. And I know your team has a huge impact on the work that you do, but thank you all. Really, really grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate those comments. And as you all know, I'm just the eye candy of the organization.
Councilwoman Hardman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question, Greg, and then a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, as you negotiate with folks that are wanting to come into town, how much does what the state stands for and some of the things going on in the legislature and other things, how does that impact different organizations maybe considering Des Moines? I'm just curious, does that ever enter into play or?
It has, several years ago when they were talking about bathroom laws and things like that, I actually called the NCAA and said, is this going to affect you?
Okay.
And they said, 5 years ago, it would have.
Yeah.
But now we see these changes in so many states and they flip-flop back and forth. So no, it will not affect us. Occasionally, we do hear from groups that say, yeah, we're not going to come there because of this or that. It hasn't been devastating
Enormous,
at this point, anyway.
Go ahead. Okay, yeah, I'd like to hear it. Yeah.
National Speech and Debate's a really good example where.
Hold on, Tina, come on.
Yeah, come on up. Yeah, I appreciate you. And then.
I mean, National Speech and Debate's a really good example, right? Everything that organization stands for is being put forward, and the demographic that those students really represent is in our face. And, we have a bid out with National Speech and Debate for 3 future years, starting in 2028. And there's a lot of conversations happening on whether they can say yes based on all that happening.
Okay.
And if they say yes, can they even talk about it in a landscape that this is?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I'm just interested in hearing how external kinds of things that, are happening in our state, what does that have as an impact on various organizations? So I'm glad to hear that you're indicating that it's not huge, but there's impact.
To Greg's point about the NCAA,
Yeah.
we're doing that a lot, right? We're not the only state that's facing legislative challenges or groups that disagree. And so we are having those conversations. And Scott One's a really good example of, he's got a group that's meeting here in June, and these are front and center. So you can either decide that you're not going to be in a state or in a city that doesn't agree with you, or you can show up and show that community what you really have to offer and what it means to be there. And so thankfully, you know, National Speech and Debate is going to be here, and they're going to show the impact that they make, and they're going to use their voices in a way that's going to be really impactful.
Great, thank you. And then I said a question, then a comment. I too want to echo Councilman Hudson's comments. I want to thank you for your service to this organization. You know, you've given a lot, and you've been around a long time as it relates to the growth that we've seen and what you do. So I want to say thank you. And I want to end with a compliment that I heard about your staff and how they were treated well. There was a group of women, I think 900 African-American women, emerging to the city for their regional conference. And I've heard from several that the organization has just been phenomenal to work with, the services that you provided. Greg even got invited to sit on the dais with 70 other people on the dais. I was like, biggest dais I've ever seen. But I just want to say to you that I've heard firsthand from some of my friends that your organization did well by them, and they were pleased. So thank you.
I would also echo, I have to. I've been one of the biggest critics, and now I'm one of the biggest fans. And I see all of the efforts that you all put in every single day to bring events here and to really spark tourism and economic development. And it is making a massive difference for our city. It really is. I mean, West Des Moines is becoming a destination. The Recplex has had a massive impact on that. You know, I hear from Ryan Penning and Shane Radcliffe, who sing your praises every single day. We see the tournaments that come in. We see the events that come in. We are getting a great bang for the buck out of Catch Des Moines, and I just could not be more pleased. You know, I understand there's a lot of pressures that are coming down from up above on all of our budgets. And I know there's a lot of conversation going on right now about funding for different 2080s. And I just would tell you, I've never been more impressed with the job that you guys have done and what you're doing for our city in the way of economic development and tourism. So thank you for all you're doing. Greg, I don't know if you've announced a specific date or if you're going to be here next year.
Probably
Not next year? Okay.
Not if I can
All
help
right.
it.
All right, well, we'll invite you back. We'll
This is
invite
his
you.
last
You can be a heckler when these guys come to
I
present.
may
but-
just call in. I might go over to Amy's house.
But
You won't be presenting, right?
I can't say enough about the organization, and Greg, I can't say enough about you as a person.
Thank you.
You're a great person. I absolutely love being on stage with you, love being at an event with you. You've got a great sense of humor. You do a great job presenting, and you've got so much passion for what you do, and that shows every single day. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you for everything, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Mayor, Council, City Manager report. I will start to my left here with Councilman Lotz.
Nothing to report, Your Honor.
Okay, Councilman Trevilian.
Nothing this time, Your Honor.
Okay, Councilwoman Hardman.
Just a few little items, thank you. I just wanted to congratulate, I know that Catherine isn't here, but she often listens, so I wanted to congratulate her and Kara Matheson for a really neat session that was put on today at 1 o'clock. It was hosted at Shive Hattery, and it was for the West Des Moines Chamber Committee leaders. So if you're a part of any committee or whatnot associated with the chamber, they invited everyone in to do thank yous for the work that they do, and to also have some training on the art of influence. So they were giving back to leaders and whatnot that serve their committee. So I want to say thank you. And then I want to remind everyone and then also what made it nice is that there were cookies that they were serving from our very own Rachel Long's business, Sugar Shag, so that made it also very sweet, pun intended. And then remind everyone about the Athene Black and Brown Business Summit that's happening on the 16th and 17th. They are doing a pitch competition, and just so you'll know how it's grown, when they first started this, they had about 30 to 40 or so pitch competition entries. There were 424 this year, all across the country. So this thing is huge, it's big, it certainly has its wings, and that's because of the leadership of Catherine Harrington in the chamber, as well as the sponsors and whatnot. So hope to see everybody out for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman McKinney.
Nothing to report at this time, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you.
Councilman Hudson.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
City Manager Haddon.
And legislature is still in action, in session, and I'd just like to mention that our own Jamie Letstring, Deputy City Manager, has been invited up to the Capitol today and tomorrow for important meetings that impact the legislation for cities. It's going to impact the taxes going forward and how property taxes are calculated and all those types of things and they have great trust in her and her knowledge. So I just want to give her a shout out for that, and our finance department supports that information. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we will move on to item 4, consent agenda. Are there any items that any council person would like to pull and vote on separately? Otherwise, I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda as distributed.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded, and I got ahead of myself. We will pull one item, and then I'll ask for a motion on the remainder. We will pull item 4T, the Fair Housing Month proclamation. Sorry about that. Okay,
Motion for the remainder.
okay, it's moved and seconded. Please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 4T is a proclamation honoring April as Fair Housing Month. Does somebody want to move approval?
So moved. Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded, I will read. Whereas April 2025 marks the 57th anniversary of the Federal Fair Housing Act, a landmark piece of civil rights legislation passed in 1968. This law made many types of housing discrimination illegal and is accompanied by numerous civil rights protections in our community, including the Iowa Civil Rights Act. And whereas the Fair Housing Act of 1968 prohibits discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of housing on the basis of, as amended, race, color, religion, national origin, sex, disability, and family status. And whereas the Iowa Civil Rights Act currently prohibits housing discrimination on the basis of those areas and additionally creed, sexual orientation, and gender identity. And whereas it is the mission of the West Des Moines Human Rights Commission to influence and advocate for community and government systems to ensure an inclusive, equitable, and thriving community. And whereas fair housing practices play a positive role in ensuring the well-being, economic growth, and human relations of all people in our community. And whereas all members of the community are encouraged to raise awareness of fair housing regulations to prevent discriminatory practices and ensure our community is welcoming and safe. Now, therefore, I, Russ Trimble, Mayor of the City of West Des Moines, Iowa, do hereby proclaim April 2025 as Fair Housing Month, and I call upon the residents of West Des Moines to promote a welcoming community committed to fair housing and support private and public entities who advocate for equal housing opportunities for all current and prospective residents of West Des Moines. Signed this 24th day of March, 2025. Is there any further discussion on the dais?
I'd like just to say, as a former board member from the Polk County Housing Trust Fund, I really do want to lift up this organization. I think they do a wonderful job of living in this space, advocating for this space, and really trying to do everything they can to let the greater light shine on affordable housing and what that does for communities and what communities can do more of. So, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the board members that are here. I want to say thank you to the staff that are here. You do great work. We need you. Keep the struggle, keep the fight going, because it is imperative as it relates to folks being able to live in communities where they can afford a roof over their head that's called a house. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, and anybody here for this proclamation, will you meet us down front so we can take a picture?
You should be in. You know I want to. Maybe we can.
Yeah, let's do that. I think I got it, but if I don't, I'll figure out it. Okay? Can I move the rest of the agenda and be done?
And block the whole thing. Okay, moving on to item 5, old business, item 5A, ordinance amendment, amend Title II, Boards and Commissions, Chapter 5, Human Service Advisory Board by repealing and replacing Chapter 5, Human Service Advisory Board. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of second reading, waiver of the third reading, adoption of final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the first reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council at our last meeting.
Move consideration second reading.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance to amend the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending Title II Boards and Commissions, Chapter 5, Human Services Advisory Board.
Move approval of the second reading.
Second.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Move waiving the third reading and adopt in final form.
Second.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5B. We've got 2 items here, approval. We've got an ordinance amendment and a resolution, which we need to take separately. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval, the second reading, waiver the third reading, and adoption in final form regarding animal control, police regulations, and penalties. And then we've got adoption of a resolution removing certain fee schedules of the city rates, fees, and charges. Does somebody want to move consideration of the second reading?
Move consideration of second reading. Second.
Okay, it's moved and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending Title 5 Police Regulations, Chapter 3, Animal Control, Section 23, Penalties.
Move approval of the second reading. Second.
Okay, please vote.
5 yes.
Move to waive the third reading and adopt in final form. Second.
Okay, please vote.
I want to do the resolution as well.
5 yes.
Does someone want to move approval of the resolution?
So move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 5C, Amendment City Code, Title 7, Public Ways and Properties, Chapter 1, Streets, Sidewalks, and Alleys, Section 6, Maintenance of Parking Terrace and Sidewalks, Section A, to clarify the term abutting property. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of the third reading and adoption in final form. There are no outstanding issues and no changes from the previous reading, which was adopted unanimously by the council at our last meeting.
Motion to consider the third reading. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, please vote.
5 yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024 by amending Title 7 Public Ways and Property, Chapter 1, Streets, Sidewalks, and Alleys.
Motion to approve the third reading and adopt. Second.
Please vote.
5 yes.
Okay, item 6, public hearings. Item 6A, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider West Grand Business Park, south sides of Grand Avenue to approximately South 60th Street, amend the planned unit development ordinance to modify regulations for parcel 5 initiated by West Des Moines Entertainment LLC. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 4th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comments to this hearing?
Plan and Zoning Commission, by a vote of 7 yes, adopted a resolution recommending approval of the PUD amendment.
Okay, anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 6A, please come to the podium here, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6A? Okay, seeing and hearing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed, and we've got an ordinance for approval of the first reading.
Move consideration of first reading.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
Five yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, and ordinance numbers 1373, 1812, 2299, 2359, 2360, 2446, 2460, and 2462 pertaining to plan unit development district regulations and guidelines.
Move approval of the first reading.
Second.
Please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6B, we are being asked to continue to the April 7th City Council meeting. Can I get a motion to continue this item?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6C, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider issuance of not to exceed 14.5 million general obligation bonds initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 7th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on item 6C, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed, and we've got a resolution to institute proceedings to take additional action on this item. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
Move approval.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6D. This is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider issuance of not to exceed $930,000 in general obligation bonds initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 7th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody from the audience would like to address the council on item 6D, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6D? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've got a resolution, again, instituting proceedings to take additional action on this item.
So move.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6E, this is the time and the place for a public hearing to consider issuance of not to exceed $800,000 general obligation bonds initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 7th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have you received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience would like to address the council on item 6E, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6E? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. And again, we've got a resolution instituting proceedings to take additional action on this item.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6F, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider Valley View Park shelter, restroom building at at pickleball courts and maintenance building, initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 7th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
Never received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 6F, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 as always, and give us your name and address for the record as well. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on item 6F? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed, and we've got two resolutions and a motion which we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues. This was also approved unanimously by the Public Services City Council Subcommittee at their March 10th meeting.
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I think this is an exciting project. It's not something we think about a lot, but there's a lot of batting cages in the city of West Des Moines. There's not a lot of cricket practice cages, and if you've ever been to Valley View Park, there are a lot of cricket players. We have a lot of cricket players in our community, and speaking to some of the cricket league leadership team, they are really going to appreciate these a lot. So it's exciting that we're putting them in, and if you ever get a chance to see a cricket game, it's actually pretty darn exciting. So definitely supportive.
Well, and I will say kudos to our Parks and Rec staff, our Parks and Rec board, and the council as well. We had a request for this from the Cricket League, and we said we would take a look into it and see if there's something that we could do in this regard. And, you know, ask and you shall receive. Here we are able to help them in this regard. So we can't always do that, but in this case, we were able to, and we acted quickly to get that done.
And to tie it in with what, Mr. Mayor, what we talked about earlier with Catch Des Moines, like they have reached out to different cricket leagues, organizations around the Midwest, because there's definitely opportunities to hold those tournaments here. And I think this puts our kind of foot forward in this realm of the sports world. And hopefully it can get some more folks out to Valley View and West Des Moines, of course. So
absolutely. Okay, is there any other discussion on this item before we vote? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6G, this is a time and a place for a public hearing to consider 2025 HMA resurfacing program, phase 2, initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 7th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
Never received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience who would like to address the council on item 6G, please come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either online or in the chamber that would like to address the council on item 6G? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've once again got two resolutions and a motion, which we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion approval.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on item 6G? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 6H. This is a time and place for a public hearing to consider a 2024 channel repair program initiated by the city of West Des Moines. Ryan, would you please read the date the notice is published?
March 7th, 2025, in the Des Moines Register.
And have we received any written comments to this hearing?
None, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody in the audience would like to address the council on item 6H, you know what to do. Come up to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anybody online, you know what to do as well. Hit *6 to unmute yourself and do the same. Is there anybody either in the chamber or online that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, hearing and seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. We've again got two resolutions and a motion we can take at the same time, and there are no outstanding issues.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7, new business, item 7A, Hidden Estates, generally located at the southwest corner of Southwest Grand Prairie Parkway and Southwest Meadow Rose Avenue. Approve a preliminary plat to create 125 lots for single-family residential development, 4 outlots and 7 street lots. Raccoon River Land Company, LLC. We have got a resolutions for approval of the preliminary plat, and there are no outstanding issues. This was also approved unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Commission, with Commissioner Costa abstaining due to a potential conflict of interest. Can I get approval of the resolution?
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 7A? If so, come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. I will go online afterwards. All right, Dave, give us your name and address for the record, please.
Mayor, City Council, Dave Harmeyer, Vista Real Estate, 2400 86th Street, Suite 24, Urbandale. Owners of South Raccoon Land. We own the land directly west of this plat. I'm just here to submit a written account of our discussions with the council and the city staff, and to be written into the record for this item. We'll give you that. We've got multiple copies you can pass if you'd like. I'm not going to go through it and belabor the point. I think the city's position is very clear here. Would like the city, however, to consider having Hidden Estates at a minimum provide us with an easement to access water to our site. The city, when they annexed us in, had to prove to the City Development Board, I believe, that all properties annexed into the city could be served by necessary utilities and services. I think that water, we do have access to sanitary sewer. We do not have access to water unless it comes through this plat. I would love it if you guys made that a condition of their preliminary plat, but if short of that, would ask that you consider it before issuing their final plat for this project of theirs. That's all I'm really here to do. The other thing that we're going to look into is possibly de-annexing our property from the city. So we would like to work with the city on that item because without access through this site, it's going to be very difficult to develop it. If we are de-annexed from the city and there is an easement for water through to our property, we would then abandon that easement at that time. So that's really all I'm here to do today.
Okay, so let me get it straight. You want us to make you getting water to the site contingent upon what we're doing here tonight?
No, I want,
If not,
I
the
want
final plat.
by at least final plat. I want
Okay, at
it
least by final plat.
to be considered for us to get an
Okay.
easement. And in the letter, I've actually asked for Hidden Estates to actually bring us the water to our site, which
Okay.
is very typical of the development process. We're asked all the time to bring services to the adjacent property owners.
All right, so
I'm
you're asking for us to help you get that done before the final plat is issued. And if that's not able to happen, then you'd like us to help you de-annex the property.
I'm actually asking you to consider that as a condition of their preliminary plat tonight. If you don't do that, then I'm asking for you to do that before final plat, which is, probably 6 to 9 months away, I'm guessing, for them to build their plat, unless they're going to bond for it early, which I doubt.
Okay, but Dave, I'm just trying to understand. So either you are able to get access to water, and if you get access to water, you don't want to de-annex. But if you don't get access to water, then you want to de-annex, correct?
We're going to explore de-annexation either way. If we do, we haven't looked into it enough to know whether that's the right move for our land or not. We don't know what the city's position is going to be on that. So we're just asking to protect our ability we would like to develop the property. That is our ultimate goal and always has been. So we just want it to be set up so that we do have access to water services if we are able to develop the property.
Well, I guess I would tell you what I told you in the meeting that we had on Friday, and that is that, obviously, the only involvement that we have in the West Des Moines Waterworks is that I appoint members to the board and the council confirms those members to the board. We do work closely with them. I would have no problem asking them to extend water to you or to consider extending water to your lot. But it'd probably be preferable if you first made a decision as to whether or not you were going to stay in the city, because I'm not sure they're going to expend all kinds of efforts to get that done, only for you to say, hey, thanks so much for all your efforts, but I'm de-annexing.
I'm asking if we're going to explore the de-annexation. And we don't know when that decision is going to be made, but it'll certainly be made in the next 3 months. Their final plat will not be submitted, I assume, for many months after that. So I'm not asking Knapp Properties to go to any expense until that decision's made. I'm making you aware of our request that I think it's reasonable that they be required to provide us with an easement so that we can serve our property for water if it stays in the city. It may stay in the city not by our choice. You guys may choose not to de-annex our property. So I'm just trying to make sure you guys will service our property. The fact that you don't own the water service is really irrelevant, in my opinion. Almost every city we deal with doesn't own the water system, but they require they require services to be brought to adjacent properties, not only with easements, but with actual service lines to those properties.
So Dave, what you're asking for is not for the West Des Moines Waterworks to bring the water in, you're asking Knapp to stub it to your property line.
Yes, at a minimum to bring us the easement to allow us to do it.
You're asking for the easement, so.
In the future, a minimum to the easement. Secondarily, I'm requesting that the actual water line be brought through their edge of their plat to our property. That request will be out there until final plat, assuming you're not prepared to do something with that tonight, which would be my guess. So that's what I'm trying to make you aware of, and I wanted to put it in writing so that everybody knows that's out there for us. I think the development they're doing is one of the most premier developments we've ever seen in the greater Des Moines area. It's great for the city. That's great for them. I wish them all their success. I'm very disappointed we don't have access, but I'm not going to close the door that we can't do something with it down the road.
Okay. Well, and we want to see you develop that lot as well. So, all right, I appreciate it. Any other questions at all for Dave at this point?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Anybody else for item 7A?
Mayor Trimble, members of council, Tom Whitman, Knapp Properties, 5,000 West Town Parkway. I did talk to William Mabus at West Des Moines Waterworks today. He said that, when you build like a sanitary trunk sewer, that trunk sewer has to follow ditches and streams. That's the low-lying area. It's a gravity system. That's what makes sense. Water main, it follows street right away, plain and simple. When Grand Prairie Parkway was built, that was a fee district project, big water main following the Grand Prairie Parkway corridor. And then we extended that into our subdivision with public street right away. In this case, there is none. Deer Hunters Run is supplied by a private water system, Warren Rural Water. That's how they get their water. And they can extend that water into their outlot if they so choose. So that's a little perspective on this issue.
I appreciate that issue because I'm thinking West Des Moines Waterworks the entire time. It's not even West Des Moines Waterworks.
No.
Okay.
I just want to point out, and I worked at Waterworks for 31 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Water main doesn't always have to follow the street right away. The reason I say that is because out here to our north, there's water main that runs through the property lines at the backyards. So there is easements that can be granted for water main extension. It does not have to go through a street right away. I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
Typically, it does follow street right away, but it doesn't have to. You you could grant an easement to allow the water main. So.
Okay. Any other questions at this point? Okay, thank you so much for the information. It's very helpful. Anybody else that would like to address the council on item 7A, either in the chamber or online? If you're online, hit *6 to unmute yourself. Is there anybody else who'd like to address the council on this item? Okay, is there any discussion on the dais?
I just want to make sure I understand, even after listening here, that this resolution is not requiring Net Property to provide access, because I don't really think we're a body that can require that. Is that true?
Right, no, this is simply a resolution for approval of the preliminary plat, and then, we will work with Mr. Harmeyer and others to explore what he brought up tonight about the easement and the water line to the best of our ability. But he asked that we consider that as part of the final plat, which will be coming at a later date. And we will do what we can to have conversations. Of course, I'm not sure what kind of relationship we have with, Warren Rural Water District, but we will do our best to reach out and have a conversation. So, okay, with that, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7B, the Pines at Glen Oaks, southwest quadrant of I-35 and Mill Civic Parkway interchange, approve extension of preliminary plat and site plan approval entitlements, Paramount Destination Homes, Inc. We've got a resolution to approve extension of the preliminary plat and site plan approval entitlements. There are no outstanding issues, and the applicant is in agreement with all staff recommendations. Does somebody want to move approval of the resolution?
Move approval. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the council on item 7B? Is there anybody online that would like to address the council on item 7B? Hit *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, is there any discussion on the dais? Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7C, ordinance amendment, amend Title III, business and licensing to modify regulations pertaining to the sale of fireworks. City initiated, we've got a resolution. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of the first reading, and there are no outstanding issues.
Move consideration of the first reading.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address the council on item 7C? Okay, is there any discussion on the dais? Okay, please vote.
Five yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa, 2024, Title III, Business and Licensing, Chapter 14, Sale of Fireworks pertaining to the temporary sale of consumer fireworks.
Move approval of the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7D, first reading of proposed ordinance, Title IV, Health and Safety Regulations, Chapter 5C, Solid Waste Control, modification of fees and charges. We've got an ordinance amendment for approval of the first reading, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please, I'm sorry, is there anybody in the audience who would like?
Is this an ordinance? So I've got a
Yeah.
motion
Yep.
to
Consider?
Motion to consider the
Second.
first reading.
Okay, motion to consider, and it's been seconded. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address council on item 7D? Okay, is there any discussion on the dais? Okay, please vote.
Five yes, an ordinance amending the city code of the city of West Des Moines, Iowa by amending Title IV, Health and Safety Regulations, Chapter 5, Article C pertaining to solid waste collection charges.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 7E, pre-levy for issuance of 15 15.215 million general obligation bonds or capital loan notes, 2025 Series A. We've got a resolution for issuance of not to exceed 15.215 million in general obligations or capital loan notes, and there are no outstanding issues.
Motion to approve.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? It's moved and seconded. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to address council on item 7E? Is there anybody online that would like to address the council on item 7E? Is there any discussion on the dais? Hearing none, please vote.
Five yes.
Okay, item 8, receive, file, and/or refer. Item 8A, 2025 West Des Moines Waterworks Budget Amendment Number 1. We will receive and file this budget amendment. Item 9, other matters. Are there any other matters that any council person would like to bring up for the good of the order at this time? Okay, hearing none, we are going to adjourn into our executive session. Is that going to be upstairs in the boardroom? Okay, up in the boardroom. With that, oh, hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Councilman Hudson, other matters.
I just wanted to share one last thing under other matters. Let me pull it up really quickly. I did want to say something in response to a citizen comment earlier. I was looking at Councilwoman Hardman's biography on the city website. And Councilwoman, you've spent your time in HR. And in the world of HR, there is employee development. Yep. There's diversity training, certainly. There's executive coaching. There's leadership development. And the phrase is, there are investigations. And Councilwoman Hardman, I believe you've, in the HR world, been a part of investigations, correct? And to that end, I just wanted to say, if we're talking about what's on the public record, the phrase specifically is investigations, not investigator. And I think that's just a couple of little letters at the end. But I just wanted to say, in defense of my fellow council member, this seems completely accurate considering the work that you've done. So I just wanted to say that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hudson. I appreciate it.
Okay, and with no further business to come before the city council, we are adjourned into our executive session.